My name is Andy Pike. I work in the Centre for Urban and Regional Development Studies at Newcastle University in the UK. The problem our book was addressing was the long-standing geographical inequalities and highly centralised governance in the UK. The book first aims to try and understand both the predicaments and the prospects of what we call left behind places in the UK and their weaknesses that have been shaped by deindustrialisation and a kind of uneven transition towards service-dominated economies. Secondly, the book examines the UK government's levelling up agenda and how it might be strengthened. In terms of the findings, geographical inequalities in the UK are long-standing and persistent as a problem. They're rooted in deep-seated and cumulative processes of local and regional divergence, with antecedents in the interwar years that have accelerated since the early 1980s. Now, this geographical divergence has been generated by the inability of some places to be able to adapt to the emergence of a post-industrial service and knowledge-based economy, whose geographies are very different from those of past heavy industries. Now, the left behind places problem in the UK has become systematically and spatially entrenched. It's become a persistent feature of the UK, blighting the life chances and quality of life of its citizens and national economic progress as a whole. Now, past policies in the UK have lacked recognition of the scale and importance of the left behind places problem and committed insufficient resources. Political cycles have underpinned a disruptive churn of institutions and policies. And past policies have been underfunded, inconsistent and inadequately tailored and adapted to the needs of different local economies. So our messages for policymakers then are basically that we should grasp the transformative moment now for local, regional and urban development policy as the UK adjusts to a post-COVID world and seeks a net zero carbon future. It should establish a clear and binding mission for levelling up across the country. It needs to more fully realise the potential of place in policy making, and it needs to decentralise and devolve towards a multi-level federal polity. Subnational funding and financing needs to be strengthened. New financing models are needed then to involve the public, private sector and civic sectors to generate the resources required. And geography needs to be far more embedded within the national state and national policy machinery with a greater recognition of place. We need to improve too the subnational strategic research, intelligence and monitoring and evaluation capacity. And a failure to learn from the lessons of the last 70 years of spatial policy risks the UK becoming an ever more divided nation with all the associated economic, social and political costs, risks and challenges that this presents.